Hello, my name is Javier Lopez. I work for PCI and I'm a field service supervisor here at Riverside, California. Today we will be talking about our self-generating nitrogen service cart. This is the 791600-003 high purity nitrogen generating cart. This will make 99.5% nitrogen, and it can deliver the nitrogen at 10 SCFM up to pressures of 4,500 PSI. In this part of the video, we're discussing how to prepare to operate the equipment. To begin with, we want to make sure that all of our control panel settings are to this off or shut position. So we're going to check all our switches and valves to make sure that they are all off and ready for us to begin. The next thing we want to do is come over and check our filters. So we want to actually pull our filter assemblies out, inspect to make sure that there are not excessive water inside of them. This will ensure that we are getting proper water drain. And then replace the bowls back, ensure that they go in and lock. After that, we want to make sure that we have enough compressor oil. What you will be looking for is to make sure that the compressor oil has 3/4 to 7/8 full of the sight glass seen there. Next, you would want to make sure that you have your louver set to the proper temperature operating to your conditions. So you want to open this, and the louvers can be dropped down from the top here by pulling this pin. There is 2 set points. The first set point will let you operate from 0 to 32 degrees, and then the lower portion of the shutters will let you operate from 0 degrees to -40 degrees. But depending on your conditions, you set them to your desired position and close the baffle. Next, we want to check the coolant level on each one of our water coolant radiators. So we want to open the radiator cap and make sure that it is about 3/4 of full to the neck. We want to check both of them. Only do this when the system is cold. Never open these radiator caps when the system is hot. And check your engine oil level. You want to make sure the dipstick has sufficient oil before we can operate this equipment. Once you check your engine oil, then you want to make sure you have enough hydraulic fluid. The hydraulic fluid has to be over the thermometer inside the hydraulic gauge. Then we come around and inspect for, as we're doing this, we want to inspect for any missing hoses, anything disconnected, anything that may look like needs to be attention to. And lastly, we want to make sure that our hydraulic temperature control valve is set to its normal position. For hard temperatures, you want to have it closed. For very cold temperatures, you'll have it open. And now we are ready to start the equipment. In this part of the video, we'll be talking about how to operate the equipment. To begin, we want to make sure our emergency stop is disengaged and pulled out. Next thing we want to do is turn on our control power. Put our control power to on. Now that we have control power, the tachometer will do some checks. Once it's ready, we want to go to the ignition switch. Turn the ignition switch to glow plugs. This will warm up the glow plugs inside the engine. We can have a visual representation of the glow plugs being warmed in this glow plug sight glass. Once they are warm, we can let this go. Turn our ignition switch to ignition, and when we are ready to start, we will turn it to start. Once the This will then crank the engine and the engine will start. Once you start, you can then turn up the RPMs to 1,500 RPMs and let it warm up for a period of 5 minutes. This will allow all the fluids to circulate and warm before we are ready to go to full speed. While you are running at 1,500 RPMs, you can calibrate the system. You can turn your V1 selector valve to cal. Once it's in cal, your analyzer will read the ambient air and should settle out about 79%. Once it settles down, you can switch and hold the calibration switch up. Once you let it go, it will calibrate the O2 sensor. Once you have calibrated the O2 sensor, you can go back to your V1 selector valve and switch it over to sample gas. This will now read the gas that we are generating. Once the system is ready, you turn it up all the way to 3,000 RPMs. And when it's in 3,000 RPMs and it's making 99.5%, you will see the purity light glow. At this point, you can turn the system engage to on. This will now start pumping the hydraulic pump, and you will see the hydraulic pump back and forth. Now we will actually go through an actual live start. So we'll turn this off.